Hey everyone! Today we're going to make a nostalgic sweet treat that's straight out of the childhood memories of many Malaysians. Roti ice cream or ice cream buns, but vegan. 3 scoops of popular Malaysian flavoured ice creams in a delightfully soft and fluffy bun. To make the buns, we need 300 grams of bread flour or all-purpose flour and a large bowl. Next, sprinkle in 5 grams of salt and 11 grams of sugar. With a spatula, mix them into the flour, making sure there are no clumps of salt lingering anywhere. Then we can add 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. Give it a good stir to distribute, then make a well in the center by pushing flour away from the bottom of the bowl. Pour in 200 grams of water and 11 grams of neutral tasting vegetable oil. Stir the liquid with the dry ingredients until a shaggy dough forms. It'll look lumpy with wet and dry spots. Once that happens, dust the counter with a bit of flour, then tip the dough out onto it. Now we can start kneading with our hands. Alternatively, you could also use a stand mixer with a dough hook attachment. At the start, the dough will keep falling apart. Just smush the pieces together and keep pressing down and kneading it until it starts to come together. If the dough is too wet, use a dough scraper with one hand to help scrape the bottom while you knead with the other hand. After 8 to 10 minutes, the dough will come together to a smooth ball like this. To make sure it's done, just squeeze a little bit of the dough and roll it into a ball. Then with our thumb and fingers, gently stretch the dough out while pulling a little. This is to check that the gluten has been properly developed. If it's not done yet, the dough will break as you pull. But if you can stretch it enough to see the light through it like this, it's done. Grease the bowl with a bit of oil, spreading it all over. Then plop the dough in and cover with plastic wrap or a lid. Leave to ferment for 1 to 2 hours or until doubled in size. In the meantime, get an 8 by 10 inch dish and grease it well. Once the dough has doubled, take it out of the counter that's already been sprinkled with flour. Then using both hands, try to coax it into a rectangular shape. Use the dough scraper to portion the dough into 3 parts. Feel free to use a scale to make sure it's nice and even. I went by eye and the first piece I cut was a bit smaller. Whoops. Now take one of the pieces and press to flatten it out. Fold the bottom up in half, then fold the top down into a rough square. Then fold it again in half. With the side of our hands, pinch to seal while pulling it towards our body. Do this a few times until the dough resembles a log shape with all openings sealed properly. Arrange into the greased dish, leaving a small gap between them. The buns will rise into each other and touch, so don't worry about making the gap too far apart. Dust with a tiny bit of flour and cover with plastic wrap. We're now going to let the buns proof for 1 to 2 hours or until it's doubled in size. 45 minutes into the proofing time, preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Once they're fluffed up and pillowy, place on an oven tray and bake for 15 minutes on fan bake until golden at the top. Look at how round and cute they are. Give them a tap and they'll sound hollow when they're cooked properly. When the buns are fully cooled, we can take them out of the dish. Let's pull one apart and have a look. So fluffy and squishy. Now it's ice cream time. The first flavour we're going to tackle is Keladi or Taro. Taro is a root vegetable with a slightly purple starchy flesh. In its raw form, it's toxic due to the presence of calcium oxalate, which can leave a prickly sharp feeling in your mouth and throat if ingested. But when it's fully cooked, taro is safe to eat. If you're reluctant to work with raw taro, frozen pre-cooked taro chunks will work in this recipe too. To prepare raw taro, cut off the skin with a sharp knife to reveal the speckled flesh underneath. Then cut it in half. They're quite a tough vegetable, somewhat similar to a sweet potato, so cutting one takes a lot of force. Be careful when doing this, of course. Our goal is to cut them into rough chunks. We need 350 grams of this. Then we're going to place them into a pot and cover completely with water. Place on the stove and turn the heat on to medium-high. We're going to boil this for 30 minutes at the minimum to make sure it's completely cooked through and almost falling apart. While the taro is boiling, let's prepare some butterfly pea flowers. Even though taro is already slightly purple, the final ice cream won't reflect that color, so we need to help it along a little bit. Now this step is optional. You can totally just use purple food coloring if you like. Steep 4 or 5 of the flowers in 80 ml of hot water and leave it aside. Now back to the taro. Discard the water and rinse thoroughly. Set them aside while we prepare the other ingredients for the ice cream. In a pot, pour in 375 ml of barista oat milk, then scoop in 125 ml of thick coconut cream. Next, we need 150 grams of sugar. Seems like a lot, but the coldness of ice cream can stun your taste buds. So to perceive sweetness, you will need more sugar than you would normally need for a non-frozen dessert. Heat the milks and sugar on low heat and cook while stirring until the sugar dissolves completely. Now we can pour in the water from the steeped butterfly pea flowers. But it's blue, you say, not purple. Patience, my friend. Get a wedge of lemon and squeeze the liquid into the pot. Butterfly pea flowers turn purple when acid is added into it, and that's how we're going to turn this ice cream purple. Unfortunately, I steeped way too many butterfly pea flowers in here, so the mix is really blue. It's going to take a lot of lemon juice to turn it the purple color that I want. So I think I'm going to have to use a little bit of food coloring just to help it along. Once we have a nice and uniformly colored purple, turn off the heat and add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Next, get a blender and add the cooked taro chunks into it. Then we're going to pour the purple ice cream base into the blender as well. Put the lid on and blend on high until the taro is blended really smooth. Instead of churning the ice cream in a regular ice cream maker, I'm going to use this really cool appliance called a Ninja CREAMi. This video is not sponsored at all, but I first came across this Ninja CREAMi in James Hoffman's video and I knew I had to get it immediately. It makes the smoothest ice cream ever, it's unbelievable. Let me show you. First, we need a Ninja CREAMi tub or pint. This comes with the machine. Pour the Taro ice cream base all the way to the max fill line. Then we're going to put the lid on and freeze the entire thing for 24 hours until frozen solid like this. Remove the lid and place it in the creamy outer container. Place the cap with the blades on and we can lock it into the machine. Press the ice cream setting and let the machine do its magic. If you've ever heard of a Paco Jet machine, the Ninja CREAMi is a home version of that. It pushes a blade through the top of the frozen container all the way to the bottom. Basically, it's shaving the frozen base at a super high speed and super finely, so you get a really creamy end result. And just like that, you get instant ice cream. Amazing. If you don't have this machine, don't worry. You can just take the base and churn it in a regular ice cream churner and it will come out just as good. Let me show you how to do that with the next ice cream flavor, sweet corn. We're going to start with the exact same milk base of 375 ml of oat milk and 125 ml of coconut cream. The same amount of sugar as well at 150 grams. Once the sugar has dissolved, get a can of cream-style sweet corn. Alternatively, you can add 1.5 cups of fresh or frozen sweet corn. Pour the contents of the can into the pot and stir to melt the cream corn into the milks. Let it cook gently for 5 minutes. Then turn off the heat and spoon the mix into a blender. If your blender isn't heat-proof, let it cool down first. Place a cloth on the lid of the blender and blend on high. Always be careful blending hot liquids as the steam can expand and blow off the lid. So make sure you're holding the cloth down the whole time. Once it's smooth, pour the mix back into the pot. Prepare 50 grams of cornstarch and spoon a bit of the liquid corn mix into the bowl. Stir to a smooth slurry and set aside. Gently heat the mix on a low heat. To make the yellow of the corn pop a bit, add a touch of turmeric powder. It's enough to give it a yellow tint, but not enough for the taste to come through. Lastly, we can pour the cornstarch slurry in and immediately start stirring. The purpose of the starch is to give the ice cream a smooth and thick mouthfeel, like custard. When the mix starts to thicken, it will indeed resemble custard. Immediately turn off the heat when that happens and stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Before we churn the ice cream, we need to make sure it's cold. If you're pressed for time, you can cool a liquid in an ice bath, but I'm just going to stick it in the fridge for a few hours. It'll chill to a thick texture. Stir it vigorously to break it up. Then we can pour it into an ice cream machine and churn according to the instructions of the machine. This will vary depending on the type of machine that you have. Once the ice cream has churned and had time to set in the fridge, this is the smooth corn ice cream that you'll get. The final flavor we're going to make is a pandan and gula melaka flavored one. It's very similar to making the first 2 ice creams, so I'll breeze through this for you. First off, we need 2 pandan leaves, which we're going to tear, then tie into a knot to help it release more flavor. Then we need 120 grams of gula melaka or palm sugar. Alternatively, you can use coconut sugar. Chop the gula melaka into rough chunks with a sharp knife. There are many different grades of gula melaka. Some are softer than others, so they're easier to work with. This one is unfortunately a bit hard. Then into the pot, we're going to pour in 375 ml of coconut cream and 125 ml of barista oat milk. It's the opposite way around for this flavor. Slide in the gula melaka, then nestle the pandan leaf in. Keep stirring with the heat on medium until the gula melaka melts into the milks and colors it a rich brown color. The fragrance of pandan and gula melaka together is absolutely mouth-watering. I wish you could smell it from the screen. Cook for a further 10 minutes to let the flavors fully develop together. Then let it cool for a bit. If you're churning in an ice cream machine, chill in the fridge for 2 hours. Or pour into the Ninja CREAMi tub and freeze for 24 hours. Once it's fully frozen, creamify in the machine with the ice cream setting. To assemble the roti ice cream together, use a serrated knife to cut the bun down the middle like a hot dog bun. Make sure not to go all the way through. Then scoop on a generous amount of the Taro ice cream and then the golden yellow corn ice cream. Then last but definitely not least, the pandan gula melaka ice cream. Enjoy this nostalgic sweet treat immediately. Watch this video next if you want to see another exciting recipe and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.